Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. So today I'm here with Sawai and Ladani again, and we are going to be giving you a recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 6.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Right.
Okay, so we start with the shenanigans of Giselle coming in, first of all, to this restaurant, talking about how this hostess, or the host, is so cute. The host is so cute, and that's her boyfriend, and who's flirting with her boyfriend. And so the four of them are sitting down, Ashley, Katie, Giselle, and Robin, and they're having a conversation about being on the committee for the Roth Foundation for this casino night that Katie's trying to put together. Okay? So basically, Giselle has said from the beginning that she's not going to be involved in this if it's a hot mess. And it's happening in 3 weeks. And Katie's like, they're asking her all these questions. Like, do you have a venue? Do you know exactly how much money you want to raise? How you're going to raise it? Like, blah, blah, blah. And it's 3 weeks until the situation, and she doesn't even have the venue locked in.
Yeah.
Like, there's things that she just doesn't have locked in. So she feels like she's being attacked by her friends.
Right. Which, to me, in a way, they low-key are, like, shading her. You know, it's primarily Giselle. I feel like everything Giselle says has, like, a layer of shade with it. So, you know, that's that. But, yeah, they are coming at her with some valid questions, though, and she's getting really, really defensive about it. And, yeah, like, it's just, like, once she can't really answer the questions that they're asking her, and she feels like they're coming at her on some, like, oh, well, like, we don't want to do it if it's going to be this and that. She's just like, well, you're all uninvited then. Forget it.
Yeah, basically she kicked them off the committee to do it. And the thing is, like, that was a dumb move because Katie's wrong. Like, she's trying to raise $100,000, but the invitations aren't even out yet. Yeah. How are you going to invite people to an event, a gala or whatever, some kind of casino night, and it's 3 weeks before the event and people don't even have their invitations yet?
Right.
People should have their invitations. They should have their invitations a month in advance.
Absolutely.
So, like, that's why, to me, it's a hot mess. Like, they should have their invitations already. You should already have the venue locked down. There are certain things you should already have in order. She's like, well, any event I've ever put on has never gone bad, but it's like,
but what about the leading up to it? How stressful has it been if it's the same, you know, if it's what's going on with this one?
Yeah.
So, you know,
she kind of uninvites Robin, and Robin, like, Giselle specifically, and Robin was just kind of like, look, if this goes wrong, I'm gonna let you know that this is not our fault. Like, we're letting you know that from the jump, this is kind of bad going into it. So if it goes wrong, it's not our fault. And she's like, well, if it goes right, then it is. Then you guys did everything right. And it's like, no, just letting you know that the chance for error is great. Okay. And she got defensive, and Ashley was like trying to tell her to not kick everybody off.
Right.
But like,
Ashley was sipping her drink like,
yeah,
girl.
Ashley was just like, maybe that's not a good idea to tell them that they're uninvited because you do need the help and it isn't 3 weeks away. But yeah, so that's
that.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So Giselle starts the shade early on in this episode.
Oh, the shade was just abundant.
Yeah,
in this
just
whole episode
like
from Giselle primarily.
I feel like Giselle has done nothing. I feel like Giselle has never put anything on. She's never been the head of a committee. She's never really done anything where she's been the leader, yet she expects everyone when they do something to have it be flawless, and she's not going to be involved unless it is. But it's like, you're not a leader, Giselle. Like,
right.
What have you led? Like, what have you ever been in charge of? I mean, maybe she has, and we're just not aware of it. So the next thing that happens is we find out that Ashley has picked the assistant that we like, Jasmine. They don't say it, but they show her, and I'm just like, oh, that's the girl that, we liked when she was looking for assistants. And so she was having a conversation with her friends while her assistant packed her bags for this vacation, because she's taking the ladies to Bethany Beach, which is in Delaware, which is, I guess, like 3 hours away, and for like a getaway with the ladies to her beach house, her and Michael's beach house. And so she's talking to her friend, and she's like, I really want to impress these ladies, and I just feel like they're constantly judging me. And they are constantly judging her. In fact, like, even leading up to them going to this thing, it was kind of like dramatic, and them being like, well, I hope it's like this. And Ashley's so nervous that she hired a chef to come and cook for them when they first get there. So she's like put a lot of energy and stuff into this Bethany Beach situation. And so the next scenes that lead up before they even go there are her, everyone getting ready for this event. So, we see the scene where Black Billy is bringing down Karen's bags for this trip, and he's like 75 years old, and he's like carrying her bags down the stairs to her, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. And then they have a conversation in their foyer while waiting for Ashley about how Karen doesn't want to sleep she doesn't want to share a room, and she doesn't sleep with women
sad.
She doesn't sleep with women, and so you know there better be some accommodations for her. And I'm just, and her and like Black Billy are having this conversation, and I'm just kind of like, did the producers make you have this conversation? Because I feel like the producers make you have conversations in your foyer a lot. One, two, like, you don't sleep with women. Like, we know you don't sleep with women, but like, are you, like, what's happening? You don't. So if it were a man, you would have slept in the same room with a man? Like, what does that mean? Like,
I just think it's Karen being Karen. Like, I don't even try to like dissect what she's talking about. Or, like,
I just feel like it's just, now it's just to the point where it's just like, so like you're doing extra things to try to be classy, and you're not.
Okay, so everybody comes together now. Well, not come together, but Ashley goes to pick up Karen, and then Katie goes over to Giselle's house, and all the girls are riding with her. Charisse, and then her friend, I can't remember her name.
Brene, Jesus. Brene is in this episode. This girl wants to be in this show so bad, I can't even tell you guys. Brene is in this episode. So they meet at Giselle's house. Katie's driving. So Ashley drives Karen. Ashley and Karen go first in Ashley's cute little Porsche. And so they go on, and they're having a conversation in the car about, like, you know, whatever. And Ashley really wanting to meet Karen's family. And Karen is just like, oh, that's great, but, you know, not really my daughter because you're too old to be hanging out with my daughter. And basically she's like, look, I don't know how you're going to influence my kid, and you're young enough to be cool with her, but I don't want you to be friends with her because I don't know yet, whatever. And then, so the rest of the ladies all meet at Giselle's house. Katie's driving, and Katie's driving under the auspices of like, oh, well, if I want to leave, I can just leave. But like, you're carrying the rest of the women there. You can't just leave even if you wanted to. So chill with that. And then on the way there, they're playing this game, like, I think it's like, marry, kill, or have sex with. And so like they, you know, pick Bill Clinton. Everyone's like, we'll have sex with Bill Clinton or whatever. And then like the subject gets on Katie and who she's dating, and Charisse throws some sort of shade like, oh, Katie's gotten around. Like, I'm sorry, Charisse, just because you got married to the first or the second man that hugged you doesn't mean that something's wrong with Katie for having dated all the men that she's dated. Like, stop slut shaming her first. Secondly, then Giselle decides that she's gonna pull up, because what happened is after Katie broke up with Russell Simmons, she like wrote a blog about it, and Giselle decides to pull it up and read it in front of all the women, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I know Katie did it as like a cathartic thing to like talk about this situation that she had, because the way that she broke up with Russell was kind of shady, and the way Russell did her was shady. But like for Giselle to read it all in front of everybody as though like, you know, like it's okay, it's just really like, just uncouth to me.
I mean, everything Giselle does is uncouth, so yeah. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't surprise me that she did that.
Yeah, and it's just like, there was something else that happened. What else happened in the car?
I don't know. If we can't remember, it's not important.
Yeah. All right. There's something else that happened, but I can't remember what it is. So, yeah. So Katie's like upset about it on the way. She had to actually pull over and like get out of the car, because that's how like annoyed she was about the fact that they were like reading, you know, this situation and then laughing about it. And she just kind of like, you know, over it or whatever. Right. And
so Ashley and Karen get to the house first. Karen loves her room. She's excited about the room or whatnot. And you know, Ashley tells her about the situation. She's going to line up with all the girls, how, you know, since there's 2 rooms where it has 2 beds, and so she's going to put Brene and Charisse in one room, and then she's going to put Giselle and what's her name? Robin in another room, because they're friends. And so to her, it makes sense. She hires a chef, like you said before, to come in because she's so nervous about being around these girls, has drinks set up for them. The other girls walk in, they're like, oh, Karen looks so like relaxed, and she looks like this is her house, and blah, 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 blah. They hate the drinks.
Yeah, they hate the drinks. They said the drinks that she made was too sweet. They don't like the food. Also, the chef was like low-key WT, like straight up just handed Ashley the bill for their services while she was still at dinner with her friends, and the food that they served was like lackluster to the women. And then Charisse and Giselle were looking for places to stay, hotels to stay at, because they didn't like the fact that they had to share a bedroom with their friends, and that the beds were too small. They were twin-size beds, and they, you know, were like, oh, like this is how you accommodate us. Like, you can't bring people to your house if you don't have enough bedrooms. So like, what did you expect her to have, like a 7-bedroom house on the beach, and that everyone would get their own room? Like, no, girl.
Do you
like,
have a house on the beach, like Ashley said?
Yeah, none of them have house on the beach, but Ashley doesn't. She invited you, and then you're talking about looking for hotels to stay at.
So rude.
That's just so
rude.
So rude. I was like, this is like,
I would have been like, you guys can leave.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it was just like ridiculous. And so then they went surfing, which is a fun activity that Ashley had planned for them the next day. And some of the women went, some of the women didn't, like being extra. He's upset, you guys. We gotta hurry up. Just yeah, the disrespect at the beach house was a lot. So at the end of the episode, they were just telling us that actually Robin's gonna tell us something that happened with Juan and one of their best friends stealing their money. So that is like a big deal. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, just the disrespect at the beach house was just extra to me. And they really, Katie had this was a bad episode for Katie. This was a bad episode for Ashley.
Because they were coming for Katie.
And then like Giselle is just so like I just can't with her. Like I can't with Karen, but like Giselle is just so, like when she said, "Oh, black women don't blog about Katie." Like
we just burn shit.
We just burn stuff. Like, I'm sick of this. Like I'm light skinned, so I need to overcompensate for being black, and I need to be extra. Because like no, don't say what black women don't do and what black women do. The black women don't blog about their feelings. Yeah. And then Giselle was talking about how like she wanted to stay with her husband because Charisse was talking about leaving her husband again and started crying. And then like Giselle was like, "Yeah, I could have stayed with my husband, but I chose to get out." And I'm like, that is further proof that you didn't really love this man, that you were in it for the clout and the glamour or whatever. You could have stayed in this. Why would you stay with a man who's cheated on you so much just so that you can have the nice things? Like,
oh, and that moment where they tried to say, "Oh, I would throw it all away," and "Oh, material things mean nothing," but yet you can't sleep in a twin bed.
Yeah, all of them. "Oh, material things would mean nothing. If I could just have this person, or if I could have my husband, I would be fine." Like, no, girl. Charisse be acting bougie. So does Karen. And like, they're the ones talking about they would throw stuff away, give away all their money if they could have whatever. No, you wouldn't. You guys are so extra. You guys are just overcompensating for the fact that you have a little money, and so you're acting like, "Oh, I need to behave this way because I have money." It seems so unnatural to me for them. Like, I'm just like, I'm sick of Charisse and her champagne drinking. Like, you have champagne? Like, I'm sorry, your old lady tongue can't have a sweet cocktail that somebody made for you. Dinky. Don't cry. How big is he getting, you guys? He's so big from the last time. Go back and watch the first episode.
He's gonna be 4 months tomorrow.
I will load the first episode and you can see how tiny he was and like how much he's developed since then.
Big boy.
I feel like Giselle is the biggest faker of them all.
Yeah.
Like,
Giselle
I'm just not with her. I'm just not. And Robin to me is the realest. Like, she's the one who actually has to go to work. And like,
at one point I felt like Robin was kind of following behind Giselle and whatever she said because that was her friend. But I felt like this episode she definitely separated herself as like an individual.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of like, "You guys are being bougie."
But
you're doing the most.
Yeah, you're doing the most. Like, I just can't wait to hear who stole money from her and Juan.
Right.
So like, she was like crying. Like, you know,
must have been a very close friend. Like, and how were they able? Like, you must have. Maybe they were like, they trusted him with their personal finances in some way or something like that. And you know, they were just slowly stealing. Like, how? Goodness.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of the reason why they're in such a situation now. Hi.
All right, guys. Well, that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see more about the Real Housewives of Potomac, please tune in next week for our next week's recap. And you have a nice day, okay? Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.